Hello everyone. Glad you could make it. Sorry I'm late. This is how we usually start this show. 10 minutes past 7. And I'm also sorry I wasn't streaming yesterday and the day before. I'm going to go into it. It's quite tiring. I keep have to go to the renovations of my apartment, which should have been finished a long time ago. I already explained what's going on, and I'll show you a picture or two, just so you can understand what's there. Very, very disappointed. Like, I had to carry bags of debris out. 110 bags in total. I'll go into it and I'll explain what went on. But yeah, it's definitely upsetting. Obviously, people will want me to talk about Sargon. I said I won't talk about drama, but I don't consider this drama. I consider this actually newsworthy. And yeah, I'll talk about it. Let's wait for more people to join. And then we can have a discussion about it. We can watch some video game trailers. There's a lot of trailers that came out. Two of them, actually, that I'm very interested. One of them is Mortal Kombat 11. Another one is Far Cry, the Scum Manifesto. This is how I call it. And then there is a trailer of Resident Evil 2, the way they decided to change the Tyrant. I think it's very interesting. So this is going to be more of a video gaming stream, where we look at some of the cool video games that are going to come out next year. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, obviously everyone wants me to talk about Patreon and Sargon and stuff like that. So we can definitely discuss it as well. Yeah, I'm getting close to 100,000 subscribers, and I keep saying this, and like a lot of people think that I'm bullshitting, but no, it's absolutely true. I do not want to grow in size. Like, there is legitimately no reason to be proud if you're growing in size, if you're a YouTube political commentator. Like, if you're some beauty blogger on YouTube, if you do ASMR shit, then yeah, by all means, like, it's important to grow, grow your channel. But if you're in the YouTube commentator community, unless you're PewDiePie, you don't want to grow. Legitimately. Like, this is a problem. You want to stay small, and you want to just do your shit and keep your head down. Because the moment you grow, you're going to get all sorts of people that want to fuck with you. From all sides of the fence. For example, when it comes to Sargon, there's this account called Sleeping Giants. And they're doing far left political activism. I think they got like 300,000 or some shit like that. They're the ones that took credit for taking down Alex Jones. Now, of course, maybe they do the big talk. I don't know. But they're fucking with the ads from Breitbart. I think they also tried to get James Allsop taken down, and Sargon of Akkad and Milo Yiannopoulos. They don't fuck with small channels like me, because they obviously, like, someone is paying these people. And it's not that they're paying the entire community, right? Because most of the people from Sleeping Giants are probably no-lifers that just stay at home at the computer doing the clickety-clack, writing emails of concern and shit like that, telling companies how offended they are. But probably, like, the leadership, the people owning the accounts, I'm pretty sure that they're getting funding from an NGO or something like that. I don't think people do this for free. It's just way too many people. Yeah, or if they're not getting funding, like, maybe they are part of a university or something. But the whole thing is, like, they don't really bother with small channels. Like, I don't think they will ever, go after, I don't know, Undoomed, for example. But they will go after big channels. And the moment you start growing, it's a problem. The same thing with Patreon. Like, I make $1,000 on Patreon. I don't know how long I'm going to make $1,000 on Patreon. Like, I genuinely think at one point my Patreon is going to also get shut down. And after tax, I get, like, I don't know, 500 or some shit like that. My accountant doesn't do tax for the Patreon. It does tax for all of the, like, all of my income put together in my bank account. And then my accountant does the taxes for that. But it's usually like half of what I make goes to tax, generally. Like, if you add the VAT tax as well, and if you add the health insurance tax and all of that. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the money I'm making. You know, I'm genuinely I'm happy with the money I'm making. If I would make like 10 grand on Patreon, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I'd be like, you know, because the thing is, the more money you make, the more you rely on that income. Like, you know, it's there, and then you start expanding. You start purchasing shit. You start, you know, like maybe you want a brand new car, maybe you want some mortgage, maybe you want some things, and then, you know, like you can't sleep at night because of the income. So no, I'm very happy with the amount of money I'm making on Patreon. And by the way, I got a couple of gentlemen that messaged me, and they said they can't support Patreon because of it, because of what happened to Sargon. I want to say that I fully understand your decision. Like, if you don't want to support me because you have like a moral issue with the platform and whatnot, I'm sorry to see you go. You know, I completely 100% understand why you'd want to do that. And the only reason that I'm still on Patreon is because right now I don't know of any alternatives. And I made a video where I talk about it. Like, the only reason Patreon is going so hard after political commentators right now is because they know there is no alternative. Like, there was Patreon, and you got maker support, and the payment processors got these businesses belly up. It's not that people decided to stop using Patreon and Patreon died. It's not that people decided to stop using... Well, in the case of maker support, might have been... you know, like when the payment processor Stripe decided to go down, the owner of Maker Support, I think he still wanted to take money from people. But overall, it's not, you know, the reason it got to that point is not because people decided to stop using their product. No, it's because obviously the payment processors, which are the people having the big dicks on the internet right now, deciding who gets funding and who doesn't, didn't want Patreon to have any competition. And I believe the only reason Patreon managed to stay is because they play by the rules. They play by the TOS that the far left wants you to play with. And it's interesting, like a couple of months ago when they deplatformed the first political figure, I think she was the first, was Lauren Sutter. And the reason they deplatformed her was because of stuff she did in real life. That's what they said. It's like, well, she did some shit in real life, and, you know, like they don't want to sponsor that. Like, I believe they had the video of her firing a flare at a refugee boat and said, oh, well, what if someone could have gotten hurt? And, you know, but now it seems to go down to like just things that you can say off the platform. It's interesting. Like, in their rules, I believe it's just things you say on Patreon, but now it can be like things you say off the platform. So yeah, I think my days are numbered, and it's just not just me, by the way. You know, it's not just me. It's the reason they go for big people like Sargon, who has like 1 million subscribers, is to make an example. Okay, you can be the next Sargon. You need to tone police yourself. I'm not going to tone police myself. I'm going to give the same content. You know, because it's basically like risk assessment. At the end of the day, it's like what is more important to me, $500 or providing entertainment for people? I think if I stop providing entertainment for people, I'll lose a lot more. And I probably wouldn't like it either. Like, I don't want to be disingenuous. And, you know, like, some things, like, fine. You know, I understand, like, a little bit of tone policing if I can help it. You know, if I can push the same message but use different words, that's fine. Okay? But to completely tone police myself and just avoid talking about certain topics that I want to talk about, that will never happen. Anyway, it seems that I managed to get a couple of super chats. Let's see what they say. Therefore 20, sorry V, I gave your donation money to Romanian howl of a dog this week. A lot of people think that I hate dogs because I like cats. Between dogs and cats, you don't have to choose. You can have both. The only reason that I don't have a dog is because I actually got a husky. And it's a wonderful dog, by the way. It's the most cat-like dog you can have. Very stubborn, very energetic. It's a dog that's meant to pull a sleigh. Like, Eskimos use huskies in order to pull the sleigh. So they're a very energetic breed. You constantly have to take them out and you have to run with them in the park. And I was actually quite excited because I was doing a lot of exercises with the dog. You know, like you go into the park and you just run away and the dog chases you, and it's a really good motivation to lose a little bit of weight and to do some jogging. But the problem with the huskies is that they howl. They're not like other dogs that usually bark. Like huskies howl a lot, and the husky howl is so loud that apparently you can hear it for miles. And I lived in a tenant in an apartment, right? And the husky was still young. It would pee all over, so I couldn't have it in the house. And I would lock it in the balcony during the night. During the day, I would let it out and we would play and take it out for a walk and stuff. But it would howl so loud that all my neighbors were complaining, and they said that if I don't get rid of the dog, they will call the cops. And I had to basically get rid of it, and that was very sad. But yeah, I didn't get a dog since then. I love dogs, like, don't get me wrong. Not to mention, like, I understand huskies are actually not a very good dog to have if you have cats. Huskies are very predatory in nature, and they will attack other pets if you have them. So there's also that. Sutskoen for a 50 Danish kroner. You can just start now as long as an electrician is present. All the important people are present. And yeah, being in the middle is good sometimes. I think you're talking about my workers. Miko Muka, it's not about money, it's about sending a message. I mean, I guess, but the thing with Patreon, let's be honest, most of their money doesn't come from the political commentators. They got money from artists, from beauty bloggers, from people who make pornography and stuff like that. Like, I genuinely think that if Patreon wants to get rid of all political commentators, they can do it and have no issue. The problem is that the more political commentators they get away with, the more people are going to try to find an alternative. Right now, there is no alternative, right? You get some Bitcoin or something, but eventually someone will find a way in order to make an alternative platform. And I think this is what they're afraid of. This is why they don't just say, yeah, all political commentators, fuck off. They can do this. They generally can. They can say, yeah, it's too big of a risk. Like, the more political commentators we have, the more the mainstream media can write smear articles on us and tie us to whatever. So we just want to get rid of all political commentators. They could do it. But the thing is, if they do it, they would create a market which already exists right now, but it's going to be like a even bigger niche, an even bigger niche opening in the market to actually have like a Patreon-like platform. And I think this is what they're afraid of. Because right now, if let's say I open something, let's say I open, I don't know, V fundraiser or some shit like that, when Vitreon. I open Vitreon, and people can just use my service to sponsor people on Vitreon. If I do this, I guarantee to you that within less than a year, especially if it becomes popular, probably faster if it becomes popular, the payment processors will pull out. Immediately, right? So this is one of the reasons you don't see competition for Patreon anymore. But the thing is, eventually, people will find a way around this. Because there is a demand. Maybe a payment processor will arise that will have like a different mentality. Or, like maybe something from China or Japan. Maybe you'll have like a Patreon coming from Japan and they won't give a single fuck about like Western morality. They will be like, you want to use our platform, we don't care. It's a possibility, I don't know how likely it is, but you can have something from China. Do you think like China gives a shit about Milo Yiannopoulos? Like, no, they're going to have them on his platform. And, like the journalists in the West can cry and complain all they want. For the Chinese company, it's good business. More controversy, yay, good business. What are they going to do? Shame them for the Chinese government that they have Milo Yiannopoulos? They don't give a fuck. So, maybe that would be like another thing is crypto. Like Bitcoin and stuff like that, like decentralized monetary system. I don't really know that much about it. Oh shit! Is the title of this playing Dota card game? I need to change the title. But the thing is, I don't know much about crypto, to be honest, in order to make an assessment. But here's my question, right? Like, there is a point where you need to exchange crypto into actual currency, right? Like, there's going to be a point where you take your bitcoins, your V coins, your whatever coins, and you're going to have to change them into dollars or into euros, and that's where they can fuck with it. That is where the banks can say no. And I understand there are some governments that already don't like it. If I'm not mistaken, maybe Sweden. I need to check it out. I don't want to say something. But that is the point where they can screw with crypto. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but the thing is, like, people, if I know something, is that people are very inventive and very intuitive. And the more censorship that happens, the more crackdowns that happens, eventually people will find a way around it. And people will manage to find a different system that's going to compete with the current giants. And there's possibility that, you might have a right-wing internet and a left-wing internet. Like, if you're a right-wing website, like a right-wing politician, you're going to have to go to this platform and use this video service and this and that. And if you're a left-wing, you're going to use this and that. That's definitely the way I view it. I think this is the unfortunate future we're going to have. And until we get to that point, what will happen is that you will have the political commentary on YouTube be exactly the same like mainstream media. If this keeps up, and I do think it will keep up. In fact, I think it will get worse. And once this gets worse, you will have some of the most boring, some of the most milquetoast political commentators that you have ever seen, who are going to make sure they don't police themselves, who are going to make sure that the subjects they cover aren't too sensitive. They're going to make sure that when they cover a subject, they cover it from the proper perspective. And it's going to be like the mainstream news on YouTube, right? And people are going to start tuning away. And then you're going to have a couple of radical people, like an extreme fringe, some far leftists or something like that, which they're going to go unchallenged. No one is going to have the guts to challenge them, because the moment you challenge them, you're going to be labeled a bigot. So you're going to have there's already channels on YouTube like LGBT for kids, teaching kids about transgenderism and stuff like that, showing coloring books and stuff. They're just going to be able to exist, and no one is going to challenge them. No one is going to speak out. No one is going to laugh at them. Like they'll be left alone, which is quite depressing, in my opinion, because every idea should be challenged. Any idea, anything should be challenged. But yeah. Sutskowen says, get both, feed the cat, the dog, solved. A little bit of animal cruelty. We're going to talk about that because PETA released a statement recently. I find it very important. Will M for $5. How do you make money if not Patreon? I know, super chats and ad revenue, but is that enough? I thought Patreon was the thing that made full-time possible. Patreon is the thing that gives you some safety of mind. Basically, if something happens to my YouTube channel, I know that I got like a revenue somewhere where I can make a living until I, figure out what's going to happen. Will I go on another platform? Will I go back to the hospital and work? Like the thing is, it's been 2 years, maybe 3, since I stopped working in my medical career. I think it's 2. But anyway, so I will have to read again. Like, I will have to freshen up on my medical courses. I can't just go to the hospital like this. I will embarrass myself. So I need to, at least spend like 2 or 3 months where I start reading again and refresh my memory on the things. And during those 2 or 3 months, a Patreon income for me to pay for food, it's definitely something that gives you a safety of mind. Now, because I'm doing the house renovations and stuff, I don't have a lot of money saved. Like, I used to save money for the house renovations. But yeah, I mean, as long as my Patreon allows, I'm going to start saving money again, for dark times. Definitely not on PayPal. Like, this is something that I heard. When PayPal shuts down your account, legend has it that they also take away whatever money you had there. Bewildering, I know. Apparently in the United States they get away with this, but in the European Union you can actually sue them and you'll win. The reason is that in the European Union, PayPal is supposed to act like a virtual bank, but in the United States they don't. They're just a middle guy, that takes your money from one place and puts them to the other. And apparently, if they shut down your account, allegedly, you lose all your money that's there. I suppose, it also matters like how much money you lost, because if it's like $1,000, it's a lot of money for me, $1,000. But you'd consider, okay, if I hire a lawyer, if I take them to court, the time it takes, I might actually spend more than $1,000 to get it back. But if it's, 100,000 or 10,000, then yeah, people are definitely going to get upset. But to be honest, like, Patreon was also a good way to support yourself if you're an upstarting YouTuber. Like, I generally don't know how people are going to become YouTubers in the future. It's a very hard market to get into if you want to do political commentary. The way I started was, I got a Patreon and I was making like, I don't know, $80, $100 on it. And then I was making like $200 from ad revenue, and it was like $300. That was reasonable enough for me to keep going. Like $300 just by talking to a microphone. Yeah, and eventually it grew. Now I'm making $1,000 on Patreon. I'm really happy. Okay, if I make 1,500, I will be ecstatic, but I don't want to make more than that. $1,500 is the limit. If I ever need more money, I'll start selling T-shirts and shit. In fact, actually, I need to start doing that because it's another backup plan, like more revenue that can go in. But yeah, I mean, like $1,000, 1,500, mwah. Like the more you get, if you start making like $4,000, $10,000, no, that's when you overextend and people start noticing, and then people start trying to fuck with you. Both on the left, on the right, people ideological neutral. It doesn't matter. Like you're going to get an army of people that just want to fuck with you, and like why would I need so much cash anyway? Like what the fuck would I do with $10,000 a month? Honestly, there's nothing you can do. Like I already have enough. I'm happy. I mean, yeah, sure, in the first month I would pay my bank loan, but after that, like, just too much money. Gabriel Montreal, how come I already know Mortal Kombat 11 will suck? Trailer has Snoop Dogg rap music trying to appeal to a broader audience instead of MK fans. Shao Kahn is a pre-order, and MKX also sucked. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat, but since you brought it up, I kind of like Mortal Kombat X. I don't think it was bad. It added a lot of new things to the genre, which made it cool. It was innovative. It showed innovation. You got every character having like 3 different stances, which you can choose from, like kits, 3 different kits, and depending on the kit you got, the character would be different. So, for example, for Melina, you had a kit with size where she would use her weapons a lot, and then you have a kit called Ravenous where she would become like a grappling character. So I kind of like that idea. I don't know. I like Mortal Kombat X. The story was great. Like Mortal Kombat did an amazing story. It was very cheesy, obviously, but it's still great. So yeah, no, I disagree with you. I kind of like MKX. Sutsko and Pita, pet exterminating terrorists of America. Yeah, we're going to talk about PETA in a bit. Let's see what I got one more super chat. Christian Verti, Superior Firefox doesn't notify my YouTube subs. Big gay. A lot of people keep telling me that I should stop doing YouTube because people don't care about me, and the best answer to give is honestly what Keemstar gave. And the answer that Keemstar gave is like, yeah, I'll believe that when people stop asking me why didn't they get a notification because I uploaded a new video. let's see on Streamlabs, and then we can go on and watch a little bit of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is actually my favorite game in the fighting game genre. I do have a lot of a lot of favorite games, to be honest. It's very difficult to choose. But when it comes to Mortal Kombat, I grew up with it. It's actually one of the first games I played, Mortal Kombat 2, and it was so cool, and it felt so edgy while playing it at the time, because most games weren't like that. And it's like, oh my god, look, I did a decapitation. Oh wow, like I pulled this guy's spine out. Ooh, I hope my mom doesn't walk in the room, because this is so edgy and so violent. But as time grew on, there was this other TV show, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. And at the time, it was one of the best shows that I seen. Like, fuck Xena. No, seriously, fuck Xena. Fuck Hercules. That was the best show ever. Alright? Like, for that time. It was something in the same lines with, like a lot of fighting and stuff, but was great action and great story. And unfortunately, they canceled it after one season. And they had so many big girls with big tits. Like every single female character in that show had massive boobage. How can you not like that? Like tits and violence. That's what I wanted. That's what I got, and I was so happy with it. And again, they had to cancel it. Literally, like everything I like. Like this is how you cancel something. If you guys have a show you don't like, or if you got like a movie you don't want to see a sequel for, get me to like it. Because the moment I start liking it, it gets taken off the air. Every single goddamn time. I mean, let's see. Stargate. Why did they want it to kill Stargate? I don't get it. Like, it was doing great. Stargate SG-1 got killed. Stargate Atlantis. They were some of my favorite shows, right? Pirates of the Dark Water. SWAT Cats. Stargate Universe, another example. First season was absolute shite. I hated it. They made season 2. I start to like season 2. I'm into it. They cancel it. What else? The Crossing. Man, that they had such a good female lead. Was amazing. They shot it down. What else did they make? Because they the Colony. Like every single goddamn show that I like is the shows that I think are shit. Like, for instance, the Arrow. What season is it? Like season 14? The Legends of Tomorrow. Season 25 or some shit. Like, if I hate it, it constantly gets sequels. If I like it, it's killed. On the spot. They take it behind the scenes and they shoot it. And it's go like, why? Why Masa? Why? V doesn't like it. Same with video game. Dead Space. My favorite fucking horror series. Dead Space. Boom. Dead. Silent Hill. Boom. Dead. Like everything got... I'm upset. For $5, Rosal Him, I promise to donate when Streamlabs came back. It's a better solution than Super Chat. Apparently they don't take a cat. Only PayPal fee, no 30% loss to Google. Glad to support you again. But I was streaming in this time. You gypsy. Yeah, I mean, Streamlabs, you give more to the creator, I guess. The creator also gets the money instantly. I don't know if people know this. But with Super Chats, it takes 2 months for people to actually get the money. So, yeah, I mean... Bilal for $5. The Germans had an assault rifle during World War I. It was over-engineered, produced. Few of them... Okay, no, sorry, this is an old one. It was just Rosal Him who gave me money through Streamlabs. Okay, Jeremy Menning for $2, Firefly. Okay, here's the great thing about Firefly. I didn't watch it. Okay? So fuck you. I don't care. And I'm not going to watch it because I heard it's good. And if it's good and they end up killing it, why the fuck would I subject myself into watching it? So no, I'm so happy that I'm going to go through life without actually watching Firefly. There's nothing you can do in order to convince me to watch it. Gravedigger for $5. If people didn't want the gypsy take on world politics, we would stop giving you the money. By the way, Hercules fucked Xena. Is that canon? Like, I know they had a lot of crossovers and, you know, like a lot of episodes where the two of them would meet and stuff, but I don't think they ever fucked. Like, Xena, I think she had love with Ares or something, like a god. And there was like some lesbianism between her and Gabrielle. Like, yeah, obviously back then they weren't big on LGBT, but it was heavily implied that Xena and Gabrielle would have been more than friends. I don't know. All right, so let's look at the Mortal Kombat thing, and we can decide if it's going to be good or not. Going to actually make the analysis. So just to take into account that I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Let's see. Mortal Kombat 11. So I watched the trailer. Going to see if you guys like it or not. Let me know how the sound is like. Like, can you guys hear it? I want to see if the chat is okay with that sound quality. Before no sound whatsoever. Okay. People want it louder with crowder, huh? All right. So let's see if I can make it louder. I mean, this is the desktop audio. I guess I'll put it to the max. Yeah, desktop audio is working. So okay. So let's go back. We see a ruined Shaolin temple now. According to the lore, for the people who are fascinated by it, the story ended with Mortal Kombat 4, which is, you know, them defeating Shinnok. And it should continue with Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, where Shang Tsung and Quan Chi... Jesus, like, I feel such a geek by pronouncing these, huh? I hope there's a lot of Mortal Kombat fans into the chat, because otherwise they don't know what I'm talking about. So Shang Tsung and Quan Chi forged an alliance between each other and decided to kill Liu Kang. So this is like according to the previous timeline, because they resetted the timeline with Mortal Kombat 9. This is what would have happened. So let's actually see what we're going to have here. Okay, so we got a Scorpion. Alright, and the interesting thing is, like, Raiden is evil here. Now, Raiden was supposed to go evil after detonating himself. No, I'm not kidding. Like, he committed a suicide attack in order to take down Onaga, right? And here he became evil because the Jinsei was corrupted. Honestly, like, I feel like such a nerd by saying these things. I hope you guys don't hold it against me. But it's like, you know, I'm geeking out here. Yeah, like, the Jinsei was corrupted and he basically had to heal himself in it. And he took, like, the evil energies. But the thing is, like, his eyes were supposed to be yellowish, not red. So we're seeing an evil Raiden here. Battling what seems to be Scorpion. And I guess Scorpion... almost doomed Earthrealm last time by killing Quan Chi and summoning Shinnok. So I don't think that the Deadly Alliance is going to happen. So we don't know why the Shaolin Temple was destroyed. Okay, now this is something that bewilders me. The music. What the fuck is with the music? Like, when I think Mortal Kombat, I think either heavy metal... Or that, you know, like the Mortal Kombat. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah. I'm geeking out again. Sorry, you know, apologies. But here's the thing, like, I don't think rap music, when I see Mortal Kombat, like, why not play Beethoven while you're at it? You know, like, why not play some highbrow intelligent shit like Mozart if you're going to just Do it for the kicks, for the lulz. Like, I can't take it seriously when I see people punching each other and stabbing each other listening to rap music. At least give them a gun. At least, you know, bring Striker into it. Just do some shit that makes sense.
You a shit talker, we got done for that. Tryna fist fight, boy, you done for that. Stupid. You gon' get a bullet in your lung for that. Stupid.
Okay, so I see a lot of emphasis on weapons. Now, Mortal Kombat 4, I think, was the first one that came with weapons. And then you also had weapons in Deadly Alliance. And again, like, this would be from the Deadly Alliance part, so maybe this is why, like, everyone gets a weapon. Because I see so much emphasis on melee weapons, which is quite interesting, right? Like, in the previous trailer, you had Scorpion and Sub-Zero fighting, and they ran at each other. And running was an actual mechanic used in the game. And here you got people constantly using weapons. So this might actually be a weapon in the environment, because you could actually do that. Like, you could probably pick up some shit in the environment, use it, and then throw it away. But I don't think that's the case, and I'll show you why.
Draco get the cooking like loose chain. Elfin in on me in a mood sign. Glock 19 in the blue flame. I was strapped when I slid inside your boot thing. 21 immortal.
Okay, so Scorpion is using his sword, and this is not like a big thing, like he always had his sword.
Never die. Loyal to my brothers. I never lie.
Oh, and is this the Shinnok Amulet? Yeah, it's the Shinnok Amulet that Raiden is wearing.
Call me bird dog, cause I cheat and I'm fly. And I love winning, I'm upset if it's a tie.
You know, I kind of hate this in Mortal Kombat. Like, they're doing these moves that look really cool for a fatality, but they're now doing it into the game. It kind of takes away the gravitas of it. Like, if you're going to stab someone like that and then just go stab, 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 and then they get up as if nothing happened, it kind of takes away from the power of the move, if you know what I mean. Like, in Mortal Kombat 2, for example, all of the moves that you would do were brutal, but the fatality was that, you know, it's like, oh my god, pull out this guy's spine or some shit. Meanwhile, in the recent incarnations of Mortal Kombat, you get people, like, breaking each other ribs and, you know, breaking the skull or cracking the skull of someone, and then they get up and it's like, fine. And I guess this is part of the way NetherRealms is doing the games, but I personally don't like it. Okay, so this is the part, right? Raiden pulls out this staff, which I guess is his weapon, right? He just summons it and then starts beating the living shit out of Scorpion with it. And when I was watching this trailer, I was like, oh my god, finally a Scorpion is getting ass whooped in a trailer. Like, I hate Scorpion. Like, first of all, it's a cancer to play against. Because you keep having, like, it's not even a 50-50, it's a 75%. Like, when you played in Injustice, he could teleport behind you, he could do high lows. It's very, very mix-up based character, very fucking frustrating. He's a threat, whatever on the screen you are. It's for noobs to play because it stuns your character, easy to do combos with. Horrible. I hate it. Not impossible to defeat. In fact, it's easy to defeat. But if you're playing against a Scorpion that knows what the fuck he's doing, it's just annoying. So anyway, right. So I was like, oh, finally he gets his ass whooped, right? Because I want to see Sub-Zero win, but you know, like, I'm not going to have Sub-Zero here. Fine, just beat the living shit out of Scorpion. Yeah. That is a fucking trailer. Yeah, shame him in front of everyone. Right? And I'm like, yes, finally, Scorpion. He's not the poster boy anymore. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? You know, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's Takeda. Yeah. Some other some other of Scorpion's clan. And then it's like, wait, this is Scorpion, isn't it? It's like, how did he appear? Like, this doesn't make sense. Not to mention, like, it's so lame. It's like, he one-shots Raiden? Really? Well, at least the bad music stopped. Okay, so at this point, like, I think this is why Scorpion reappears, because there's going to be some time shenanigans in the story. Some time traveling thing, which is probably what they're going to do. Meh. I don't know. Like, the thing with NetherRealms, and I'll give them that, They're the only fighting game on the market that actually has amazing single player. They managed to create really great stories. Like, if you haven't played Injustice, seriously, just even if you don't like fighting games, just pick up Injustice. Really great. The story is amazing. So yeah, I'll definitely play it for that at least.
Straight up.
Oh my god, the rap music is so horrible. I mean, it's not that the rap music is bad per se, it's just that in this game, in this context, doesn't make any sense. So yeah, obviously they're doing this. Shao Kahn DLC, I guess. Yeah. They always have this, like a pre-order, and they give you like a fan favorite character. Personally, I don't mind, and I'll tell you why. Like, here's what you can do in order to get the character and play the game at the same time. Buy the game on Steam a day before release, and if you don't like it, then you can sell it back. You can return it, right? Problem solved. Genuinely, like, problem solved. But buy the game one day before, and if the game turns out to be shite, issue a ticket and tell Steam that you don't like the game, and you get your money back, and you get Shao Kahn as well. It's kind of interesting that Shao Kahn is again in the story. Like, I thought he died. Then again, like, no character ever dies in Mortal Kombat, so kind of interesting. It's called Mortal Kombat, but death isn't permanent. Yeah. That's kind of about it. Probably bored people. No, white people also perform rap music, so it's probably not racist. Yeah, that's true. Like Eminem. Eminem is my white person, my representative. Never ever pre-order. Fallout 76 should have taught you that lesson. No, I disagree. On Steam, you can get your money back, right? So on Steam, it's fine to pre-order. There's no shame in pre-ordering games on Steam when you get refunds. But yeah, I mean, Fallout 76, like, of course I didn't pre-order it, and there were no refunds for it. If death is not permanent, what's the point of death? To make the game edgy. That's what the point of death is. You know, they wanted to make it edgy. Anyway, there's another trailer that we should go through. This is Fallout. No, sorry, not Fallout. Jesus, Far Cry. Far Cry New something. What do they call it? Far Cry New Dawn. Okay. And I'm looking at it, and to me it seems like Fallout, the Scum Manifesto. Like, what is this shit? And this guy looks like Jeremy, huh? Like Jeremy losing a little bit of weight and getting a shave. And I guess these are the villains. All right, so I decided to check it out. Let's look at the trailer. Far Cry New Dawn. Now I don't know if this is like a new game, if it's a DLC or something. They haven't really made it clear. All right, let's check it out and we can see what it's about. Obviously, it takes place after the previous Fallout. I guess they go for the ending where the nukes are launched. Initially, I thought this is going to be the new Fallout, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then I realized that they're going with the Borderlands type of rage, you know, like Rage from ID, that type of game, because you got like the Mad Max vibe with a lot of cars and settlements and stuff, and it's like, oh my god, all right, fine, whatever, just make the game good.
Bombs dropped, and the world went to shit. They said it was supposed to be the end of everything, but for us, it was just the beginning.
So obviously, like, the graphics are kind of cool, you know, like I like this flowery, you know, rich, colorful type of apocalypse. Because usually, like, when you get the apocalypse, it's just deserts and you know, like dead trees, stuff like that. But here you actually see, like, okay, so there's a lot of vegetation. It's almost like The Last of Us. So yeah, I'm kind of interested. I'm hooked a little bit.
we were better than that. This new world had a lot to give, and we took it all.
So this looks like any other Fallout game up till now. You know, like you get your little settlements where you go in and you get your missions and you purchase weapons and then you go out in the world and you kill shit and you come back to the little settlement. And like, yeah, okay, I mean, you know, this is what I don't like about Fallout, to be honest. Jesus, I keep saying Fallout. About Far Cry. The thing that I don't like about Far Cry is that all the games are exactly the same. You know, you play one, you play all. It's not a game that's renowned for having good AI, like the AI trying to flank you and stuff like that. It's not renowned for a game that has a very immersive experience. It's this open sandbox type of shit where you just repeat the same things you did in the previous game and there's just a little different story. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they changed something. But the thing that it had going, like Far Cry 3 was brand new, you know, and it had such a strong villain, very powerful villain, which unfortunately dies after half of the game. But man, that actor, I don't know the name of that actor. He plays in Better Call Saul, but my God, like, can that guy act? And then you get like the next Far Cry, which was kind of meh, like in the Bahamas and stuff. And then as you're going towards the last Far Cry, I personally didn't like it. Like you got some characters that can help you. You got this lady in a helicopter and this guy with a plane. And you would just summon them and they would just destroy and demolish any opposition that you had. Like any single mission was so easy because you got like this companion that flies up from a plane and drops bombs on people. Very American, I guess, but come the fuck on. Like, I want some difficulty in my game. That was just, you know, it felt almost like cheating. So I hope they don't have the companion system in this one, at least.
That's how we came out on top. That's how we got here. That's how we found you.
So again, like a lot of emphasis on racing. Like they tried to go for the Mad Max vibe, I suppose. And this is the part where I don't like, okay?
Understand something. The only currency left in this world is power.
I don't feel the villains. I genuinely do not feel the villains. Like these two angry chicks that are angry, and that's their superpower. They're angry. Okay. And for some reason, they control a gang of men. Now, if you want a cool female character in Far Cry 3, what was the name of that chick? The sister of the bad guy, right? I forgot her name. But that was like a good female character that was a villain. She was a spiritual leader to a tribe of people. And she tries to get the main character to kill his girlfriend in order to be with her. Sintra, was that was like such a great female villain made in a game like Far Cry. I just don't feel it with these ladies. There's really nothing about them. And like every single villain in Far Cry had something interesting about them in the trailer. Right? Maybe they're interesting in the game, but in the trailer they're meh. You got the first villain, right? Like, what is the definition of insanity? Man, that was cool. You know, like he was this very calm, charismatic guy that can always snap, and once he snaps, he's just completely insane. And then on the second, you got the dictator, which was I guess they tried to copy the villain from the first one. They didn't really succeed, but it was still like a convincing villain. Like you definitely get into it, and you find out that, you know, he's your stepdad and shit. And then you go on and, you know, the priest from the other Far Cry, which was very interesting. And the other Far Cry, you know, even though the gameplay was boring, all the villains were cool. Like you had that sexy chick, you know, that would mind fuck with you. And you had the guy that was living in the forest alone, and he would train an army, and it was like survival of the fittest, and every single villain like had their different ideologies and stuff. Very great, but I don't feel it anything with these ladies. It's like, what exactly am I supposed to feel? They're not intimidating, you know. Like I'm looking at them, yeah, it's just some chicks. Like I'm looking, this guy is twice her size. Okay, the only reason she's powerful is because this guy's tied up.
Started with your home. And if we can't
break.
What the fuck is this? Fuck is this? And not to mention, like, what is the actual thing underneath? It's like, okay, they're two thugs. You know, they have a gang and they're thugs. Okay. Well, why are they more special than any other villain in any other shooter, you know? Oh wow, that's so edgy. That's kind of cool, like the dog hopping in the car through the window. Wait, was that like a bobblehead, like a Fallout reference? Hold on. I think I saw a Fallout reference. Oh yeah, there's something here. No, I think it's just like a talisman or something. Nah. I thought it's a Fallout reference. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be entertaining, but let me put it this way: it's not something that I'm hyped. You know, it's not something that I'm like, oh my god, I have to play this. It's just like, meh. Yeah, it's the Kang sisters. That's how they should be called. Ethan Long for $10. We'll watch it later. Working right now. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it. Suits going. Pre-orders and their buyers. Natural selection in progress. Again, I already explained it. Like on Steam, you should pre-order because you can get a refund. If you're not happy with your game on Steam, that's fine. You know, you refund it. And by the way, companies hate it more if you refund their shit. They actually hate it more if you pre-order and then refund it. So yeah, I always pre-order a game on Steam. And if I don't like it, just get my money back. I don't see the loss. Like, what is the loss if I do that? I'll show you another game now, which is actually really great. It's one of my favorite video games as well. Like way up there with Mortal Kombat. Okay, so this is going to be the Resident Evil. Now, this is a game I'm genuinely hyped about. Like, this is something that I want to play, and I'm definitely going to save money in order to buy this because it's amazing. Look at this shit. Look at it. Look.
Jesus, stay back. Oh no.
It seems it's quite deadly in closed corridors like these ones, but in open spaces it's more manageable. And I like the fact that it actually chases the character. So natural, like the way you open these doors. I remember when I played Resident Evil 2, whenever you'd open a door, there would be like a loading screen. And I was playing it on a laptop, and it would last like 3 or 4 minutes after I would open a door. But I loved the game so much that I would stick with it. But I hated doors so much in every video game after that. Like, whenever I would see a door, I would get PTSD from Resident Evil 2. And this brings up good memories. The police station. Ah, this is so great. Raccoon Police Department. And anyone who played Resident Evil when they were a kid, they know what I'm talking about. I used to be so scared by the zombies when I was a kid. When I was playing Resident Evil, and they're like, meh. The only thing I can expect from it is a jump scare, but it's still a nice game. Like, it's... I miss zombies in Resident Evil. Like, you got the Los Plagas, and then you got like all sort of shit. But you never get zombies anymore. And now finally Resident Evil 2 you get zombies. Oh, the liquor! Oh my god. I haven't seen this, by the way. They made the liquor look so cool. Man, it was so scary when I was playing Resident Evil 2 and you finally meet this guy. I also love the fact that they keep the weapons from the first game. Like you still manage to get like the grenade launcher, and it doesn't do damage if you shoot close to. Oh, and the inventory seems to be limited. They really make, like, Capcom is really making a great Resident Evil game. I'm genuinely hyped. I also like Resident Evil 7, by the way. But where's the Tyrant? Come on, you told me there's Tyrant gameplay. I want to see the Tyrant gameplay. Ah, this is so cool. You still get like the little notes where you gather evidence of what happened, and you try to piece together the story of the game. I like that. So the title lied to me. There is no Tyrant gameplay. Ah, the puzzles. Oh my god. I missed them. They were kind of annoying back then because they would hamper progression. Like, I remember Resident Evil 3 had some really, really difficult puzzles. Ooh. Oh wow, so you actually have like... Oh, look, the damage stays on her. Like, she got the love bite on her neck. I hope they keep that in the actual game, because usually, you know, the trailers look really bad. And look, another interesting thing. Like, she's keeping her head as if it actually hurts her. Look at the detail. Look the way she's keeping her head. Right? She's tilting her head to the right because the wound hurts her. Wow, that's so cool. Oh, is that the Tyrant? Ooh. Yeah, man, I'm definitely hyped for this. Like, I genuinely want to play this. Sogzalik the Great, don't tell me I missed the cat question. There was no cat question. If anyone has a cat question, I'll answer it. Also, the administrator of Lewd Gamer website wants me to check the DMs. Let's see the DMs actually. Let's check on the DMs. Alright. We'll talk about it later. I'll talk to you after the show, man. We'll arrange a stream or something and we can talk about it. Yeah, it looks scary. This would be scarier if Sonic Fox came out of the corner in the first... Man, I don't know what happened, but I understand there was like a furry in the Video Game Awards. Like, was that a thing? Did they have a furry in the Video Game Awards? Chat, tell me, because I genuinely don't know. I saw like Mr. America tweeting like some furry, some blue fox thing. Was that in... I don't even know who Sonic Fox is, by the way. Oh my god, I'll have to catch up with it because it looks dumb as shit. Like, why would a furry wanna be in the public spotlight at a video game? It's like getting a gimp from the BDSM community to represent a gaming awards community. It makes no sense. Why would you do it? Why would you go to a specific fandom that's dedicated to a fetish and think it's okay to stuff it down normal people's throats? Oh my fucking god. The gay furry won. Sonic Fox is the MLG player of the year. What is MLG? I don't know what MLG is. Why are cats underrepresented in the furry community? Is this the cat question of the day? Fuck, man, I don't know. Like, I don't have a statistic on personas and stuff. Like, if you want to fight for cat representation, make a persona and make it a cat. Jesus fucking Christ, I don't know. Is Attack on Titan about incest? No spoilers, please. I need to catch up on FGC. Can you please stop it with the abbreviations? I genuinely don't know what FGC is. Major League Gaming. Oh, of course. All right. So if it's some sort of I don't know, if it's some sort of like game award, like the guy is actually a professional gamer and he happens to be a furry, yeah, I get it. But even then, like, why would you want the public to recognize you as such? Let me see what the fuck Sonic Fox is. Let me just look it up. Oh, is that who Sonic Fox is? He's the Mortal Kombat champion? Oh, I know who he is. Oh my god. You just ruined Sonic Fox for me. When I'm going to see him at Evo, I'm going to root against him now. Look what you did. He's got good combos. Like if I remember correctly, I think he plays Cyrax in Mortal Kombat 10. Like, Suits co-ed for 20 Danish kroner because dogs are superior. Fact, gas the cats. Superior for what? Like if you want a pet that doesn't require maintenance, you get a cat. You know, when it's rainy outside and it's muddy and you don't want to go out, but the dog has to take a leak, tell me who the superior pet is. Gabriel Montreal. We used to beat the shit out of mascots back in the days. Why did we give the furries a pass? Is that a thing? Like, did people assault mascots? I don't remember it. Isn't he also Jewish? I don't know. Like, all I know is that he's a Mortal Kombat player. Like, he plays fighting games. Yeah, Sonic Fox. I know who he is. Well, honestly, it's like, imagine this. Okay? Just imagine this. Imagine you're a good player at something. You're the best Overwatch player, or you're the best Hearthstone player, or some shit, right? And you get to go at this gaming award, and the eyes of the world are going to be upon you. Now imagine you have some fetish. I don't know, like feet sucking fetish, or BDSM. You know, like the classical one. Like you're into BDSM. Why would you go in a leather suit for all the people to see? Like, imagine how people who aren't into gaming are going to look at it and they're going to perceive it. Like, sexual fetishes, people either have them or they don't. You can't normalize something. You know, you're never going to normalize a fetish. And I hate the furries who say, oh, it's not a sexual fetish. Fuck you. It is. Liar. Attention whore, maybe. I don't know. Here's what I don't get, right? Like, here's what I don't get. The MLG community is very strict about the things you can and can't do. So, for example, there was a guy who he claims he was tired and he was fighting against an Asian and he rubbed his eyes, and by squinting his eyes, they said that that's racist and they fined him. There's another guy who was playing StarCraft and he said that his opponent was a woman, he's going to rape her. They fined him, right? So they're very sensitive about not offending people, right? And then you got this guy who comes up in a fursuit and you're not going to fine him? Like, you're fine with that, are you? Like, is that okay? Is that, Apparently it is. Apparently that is fine and it is okay. And it's like, I don't understand you anymore. Then how can you complain whenever some other professional player does something that you find offensive, and it's like, oh my god, that's so un-PC. You know, like PewDiePie said, hard R, everyone. You know, and then you're like, oh yeah, no, this guy in a fursuit, that's fine. Just allow everyone then to do whatever. If a fetish becomes mainstream acceptable, then it's no longer a fetish. That is actually correct. You know, like, that is funny. Tit fetish, apparently, like people being attracted into boobies, that's a fetish. But since everyone is attracted into boobies, even some women, then it's fine. Jesse White said soft R. He was not a furry, he was a gay black furry. Why do I care? Like, honestly, see, this is another thing. Like, why am I expected to care who this guy puts his dick into? It's none of my business. Like, I want to watch video games, why do I care about the sexuality? Do other gamers come around with their girlfriend on stage and tell them the sexual position that they fuck their women into? Is that a thing that happens? Have you seen Daigo Umahara come up with some hot Asian chick and says, yeah, you know what, I'm straight, this is my girlfriend, we fuck doggy style every day, please accept us? Or you know, who else? Darkside Phil. You know, like Darkside Phil, the king of hate, wins the championship or something. Street Fighter 2 comes up with his girlfriend and say, yeah, I like to pussy lick her when she's on period. Why would you do that? Yeah? What do you think the response from the audience would be like? Makes no fucking sense. Even the Japanese dude was confused and shocked by the furry dude. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's a time and place for everything, you know? Like, if they want to make a documentary about the guy and talk about his sexual fetishes, that's fine, you know? But if you're just going to be there, like, I find it distasteful. I'm not saying that it shouldn't exist. It's just like, meh. And I'm an ex-furry. Like, you know, like, if I don't understand it, I don't understand how a normie would understand it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, does anyone else remember Private Lives? Like, that was a thing. I can't believe that I'm actually the one talking against this thing. Like, when me of all people is talking against it. Sutsko says the one that stops you from being a wimp is best. Anyway, I thank you for the donations, and I'll see you all tomorrow on my main video. We'll see what I'll talk about. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, and take care. I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, one more thing. If anyone wants to mirror my anime reviews, I would appreciate it. Right, so Goblin Slayer, if you want to mirror it, then I would appreciate that. And with that said, I'll see you all tomorrow.